The question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Whoops, I was muted.
There you go. Now I can hear you.
Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Tuesday night. We are rolling on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter /X, Facebook, and Twitch. And tonight, it is episode 86, and we are throwing down with Iowa-based wrestler Drake Holloway. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great. How are we doing?
Good, good. One thing I'll go ahead and say for anybody watching this live, if you have questions or comments, throw them in the chat, and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little viewer Q&A at the end.
For sure.
So we'll go ahead and start with the first and most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been wrestling, Drake?
I've been wrestling since January of 2024. That's when I initially started training. And then my first match was in April of that same year. So, yeah, kind of quick to the first match. But then, yeah, I was kind of stalled out after that. But, yeah, January 2024.
Gotcha. So basically a little bit over a year.
Yep,
yeah.
A little bit over a year, yeah.
So I know that you recently completed the training program at Black and Brave, but where did you initially train at?
So I started training in Omaha, Nebraska. That's my hometown with Bulletproof Academy. They're a newer school. They formerly were opened under Jason Strife, a legend in the Midwest scene. He unfortunately passed away, but some of his students who now run Magnum Wrestling opened up, along with Donnie Pepper Cricket, kind of a veteran in the area. They opened up Bulletproof Academy. Nino Hatchett, Jameson McGregor, Brixton Nash, Kit Sackett, kind of those four guys, and Donnie Pepper Cricket. They all help out at the school, and yeah, I was in their second ever class, I believe. So yeah, I owe a lot to those guys. Those guys are great. They truly care about the business and training folks the right way. They're not, a lot of schools like to just gather money and send people on their way. They truly have a relationship with all their students. So I owe a lot to those guys. Some of my best friends.
Gotcha. So how did the opportunity to train at Black and Brave come about?
So I actually put my Black and Brave application in before I ever started training in Omaha. This was about in 2022, I believe. I believe June of 2022 is when I put my Black and Brave application in. And they're so backed up. They're an incredible school, so they're backed up quite a lot, 2.5 to 3 years. And I had to wait 2 years, to finally get a class in. But yeah, I made that decision in like 2022. I'm gonna go out there, train, become a professional wrestler. But the opportunity to get some training beforehand came awry when I was, just waiting essentially and just working my day job and all that. So it was definitely uh, really beneficial to start training and then polish up later at Black and Brave when I had the opportunity to come here. So uh, yeah, I'm blessed with the amount of training and people who've given their input. It's shaped me for who I am as a wrestler. So yeah,
Absolutely. Speed round.
awesome.
Ric Flair.
Oh, inspirational. Yeah. Um, he's a revolutionary to say the least. I love that guy. He was the first, you know, I'd say entertainer that
Hmm.
there's a lot of entertainers, but he really made you feel. Ric Flair, he was he was an emotion captivator. So he drew out emotion and got you riled up. Love that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. It's funny. I live in Metro Atlanta,
Hmm.
and when I was probably 15 or so, um, a new mall had opened in the county that I lived in,
Yeah.
and my dad and I were at the mall, and he wasn't there for an appearance,
Hmm.
but Ric Flair shows up at the mall. Uh, he's in the three-piece suit, and he's got two women with him, and he is walking through the mall. Like I said, he was just randomly there. It wasn't any kind of an appearance, but the guy lived his gimmick
He
24/7.
did, and that's what
I
it was.
mean, yeah,
Styling and
um,
profiling in real life too,
yeah,
man. He was, yeah,
yeah,
and he didn't care.
yeah,
He didn't he broke barriers. He'd wear like feminine stuff, but he didn't really. It was who he was that made it so cool.
right,
Definitely
right.
a captivator. Yeah, he drew out so much emotion from the crowd and got you fired up, kind of like Dusty Rhodes, but in a sense, like in a cocky sense. He was more of a heel most of the time, so um,
Right.
he was incredible.
Yeah. Um, it's funny. I've been a fan of this stuff. Varying levels of fandom at different points in my life. But since I was around 11, and I just turned 55 back in the fall,
Yeah,
so I mean, um, and I got into wrestling around age 11 as a kid in Florida, and Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Sullivan was the first feud that I remember.
yeah,
And when you're 11 years old, Kevin Sullivan was a scary guy.
yeah.
I mean,
Kevin Sullivan, yeah, he's got that look to him. Rest in
yeah,
peace, Kev. But
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Dusty Rhodes, I mean, at that time, Dusty Rhodes could make you jump out of your seat. Just
Oh yeah, he was amazing,
yeah,
truly, truly amazing.
100%.
But so in terms of the early portions of your training,
Hmm.
what would you say was the most challenging part of professional wrestling for you to wrap your mind and body around?
Oh man, yeah. The athletic parts like the bumping and running the ropes, that was never like a huge issue with me. It was more so I'm a perfectionist, so kind of just getting down everything perfect and not getting frustrated. There was a few times my trainers had to tell me to shut up and stop talking back. Yeah, that was probably the most important thing they told me because when you're training early on and they tell you something that you did and you're like, but I did it this way, and they don't care. They want you to get better and they want you to listen. So definitely just the mental aspect of they're trying to coach you and just listen. Pretty much, I'd say the mental aspect. I've been an athlete in high school. Just high school sports. That's the only really athletic background I have, and it's go go go. And sometimes wrestling, you got to slow down. So that definitely slowing down 100% is what I'd say is a huge thing to grasp if you're coming from a sports background per se. So yeah.
Gotcha. What sports did you play in high school?
Oh, I did football, basketball, track. Um, I did a little bit of MMA training outside of high school, or like right after high school. I did about 7 to 8 months of jujitsu. I took a few, MMA based classes just to get my foot in the ground of combat sports and like, uh, I want to be a technician in the ring. As close
Hmm.
to, you know, UFC fighting as they can get to when it comes to like mat wrestling and all that. So yeah, I'd say the jujitsu and MMA classes really helped out in like positioning and footing and thinking on the fly and all that. So
Oh, for sure, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, a number of years ago, I trained in BJJ for a few years and really enjoyed it. And I maintain to this day that there is no better full body workout than
Oh,
rolling rounds of
rolling
jujitsu
and
with
jujitsu,
somebody.
man.
Man,
Oh, that would blow me up. I would do a 3 minute roll around. We'd have our roll days. It'd normally be on Fridays. This was back when I was living in Omaha, and
hmm
it was at Premier Combat Center. I'll shout them out. They were awesome. But yeah, we'd roll around on Fridays, just going around everyone in the gym, and we'd switch partners every 3 minutes. My After the first two, man, I was sweating. That's a
Oh, no doubt,
insane stamina workout, but I loved it.
no
Yeah, it was awesome.
No doubt, man. And some of the wrestlers that have a shoot martial arts background, you can actually kind of tell just in how they conduct themselves in the pro wrestling ring. Like
Oh,
somebody like Kyle O'Reilly,
yeah, Malachi
or
Black.
or
I'll watch
yeah,
Malachi Black. He has that Muay Thai stance, and I'm like, that is
yeah,
that is awesome. And all his strikes and stuff, they look so devastating because of that Muay Thai background. And I'm so intrigued by those. Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly, like you said, I'm so intrigued by those guys. They they look like lethal weapons the way they strike, man. I love
oh,
watching
for
them.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So I'm presuming that you've been a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. Is
Oh
that
yeah.
pretty accurate?
Yeah. About as about as long as I can, remember. I think I was around 8 years old. I'd say when it was my dad was watching it. I was just chilling on the couch, hanging out with dad, and it happened to be the CM Punk pipe bomb promo episode. And
Oh,
I
really?
yeah, that was my
So the pipe bomb was your introduction to pro wrestling.
I
That is,
I would say so. My dad would have it on, and I saw The Rock. I would never like fully watch it. I was probably playing on my game or my Game Boy. I'd had you know I was always a gamer, so but my dad would have it on. I saw The Rock was on there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I know him from the game playing and all that. But when I truly watched it, and I was captivated by the promo. I didn't really understand what CM Punk was saying, but I understood it was important and that this guy was,
yeah,
kind of breaking a wall that he shouldn't be in a sense. And
yeah,
he was like talking to the camera and they shut his mic off. I was like, Dad, is this real? That was like a really cool introduction moment. Yeah, that was my first core memory of wrestling. It was, yeah, just in our family home on the big screen TV, and CM Punk had the Stone Cold shirt, and I was like,
oh
why is
yeah,
Stone Cold? He was on earlier in the episode. Why is he wearing a different guy's shirt? And I was like, just
yeah.
asking so many questions, and from there I was hooked. We watched every pay per view together. We'd go to the local bar, yeah, every week. But yeah,
Yep, yep. And moments like that where they can truly blur the lines between what's real and what isn't. That's magic.
that
I
is my
mean,
favorite. Oh, I love it. Shoot, a more recent one when MJF had his kind of pipe bomb promo. I think it was in June of 2022, and he left. I was just in awe of that. That whole thing was a work of art.
yeah, something that I still wonder if we have truly gotten the full story about what really happened with CM Punk and AEW.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
man, yeah,
it's a whole strange thing, and I just feel like there's some missing pieces
because
there that have never really.
the concept of AEW is like exactly what he describes as a place that he wanted to be, and it just
Mhm.
seems like ever since he left, he is a completely different. I think he has a different view on wrestling in a whole, but yeah, I'd love to hear the story. I loved CM Punk in AEW,
Oh yeah,
but yeah, some places don't work out in a sense.
right,
I'm guessing he had a different perception of what he was coming there to do and all that. So, um, but yeah, some guys don't get along. But
right.
I'm personally a guy who's just there to work, and I don't get
Yeah,
my voice out there. That's for the other guys.
low drama.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to just work. I like to show up and work, and smile on my face, shake hands. Yeah.
Yep. So, was there a particular point where your fandom took a shift and you started thinking, I think I could actually do this?
It was always in the back of my head, like throughout high school, when you got your college advisors telling you what path do you want to take, and they'd look at you crazy if you'd say professional wrestling. But I did about a year and a half of college, and I was there to study like business administration. I wanted to be a real estate agent at first, and my heart really wasn't like, I was just, simulating through these college classes. Like, I don't care for any of this stuff. Like, it'd be cool to have a degree, but I don't want to live this like 9 to 5 life and all that and the simulated lifestyle. So, yeah, and that around that June 2022, when I was like, you know what, let's shoot for the stars here. Put my Black and Brave application in. That's kind of when I just made the decision. I had money saved up. I didn't know what for. I was just saving money for whatever, and yeah, I was able to make it happen. And ever since then, I felt like just going with the flow rather than planning your entire life out. That's kind of That's where it shifted.
Hmm.
Since I started training and all that, I'm just going with the flow. I'm not planning for the next month out, except when it comes to matches and all that. But yeah, I'm just living life. I can get anybody can get a job that pays well if you're work committed, and
Right.
get a job that pays the bills. But yeah, this is my life now. So
Gotcha. Yeah. And having the courage to put yourself out there and, and like Cody Rhodes is so fond of saying, bet on yourself,
yeah, bet on yourself.
is really, really cool.
Yeah,
And, that's one of the reasons I've enjoyed doing these and really focusing on the indies, because being a part of telling the story of people chasing a dream is
yeah,
just so cool. I mean,
100%. Yeah, and you have to have some. They say stay humble and keep yourself in check. You have to have some sort of self confidence though, to where you're gonna blow the roof off the place when you step out there. You have to have some sort of self confidence. You can't be shivering in a corner, scared.
no,
You gotta believe that you can blow the roof off a place, and that's what I'm about. I know I can captivate a crowd. I know I can get people going. I always have. I did theater in high school. I know how to convey emotion. With sports. When you're fired up, let's go and all that. Pretty cliche
yeah,
stuff, but same thing with wrestling. And it's a roller coaster, just like any entertainment product. Theater, sports, television, the whole shebang. So
absolutely.
yeah.
Speed round.
Okay.
Will Ospreay.
Oh, I love that guy. There's a lot of mixed opinions about him. About just being a spot monkey and all that. You've heard it all, but he is the most talented professional wrestler I think I've ever seen in my life. I have not seen the athleticism, the stuff that he pulls off.
Mm-hmm.
you'll see that once from one person, and that's him. I I take a lot of inspiration from him. Just I can't do most of the stuff he does, but he's an athletic freak, and
Oh, no doubt.
and with that too, he is a great promo. I don't think he
Yeah.
gets props for his skills on the mic and all that. So I'm a huge fan of Will Ospreay. Any match that he comes on, I get excited for. I sit up in my seat. I'm ready to watch.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, I love his power bomb transition into the Styles Clash. That thing is one of my favorite moves in professional wrestling. I love that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'm really enjoying his current run in AEW because I feel like they're finally letting him talk,
Yeah.
and he's proving to be a great mic guy as well
Yeah.
as an otherworldly guy in the ring.
Yeah, he's got the accent and the raspy voice, and I think it really helps him take it more seriously. He's not scared to talk. I believe what he says. He's really good at believing in himself when he speaks. So that's one thing he
for
is
sure.
incredible at, and in the ring too. Is just I think he's the best in the world, to be honest.
Yeah. I will not argue that point with you at all.
He is incredible, man.
So away from wrestling, what are some of your other current hobbies and interests?
Kind of typical men stuff. I like watching sports. I'm a huge video games guy. Working out. I'm a kind of a nerd too. I like Pokemon. I play a lot of Pokemon on the. I got the old Nintendo DS and Game Boy, so I'll sit there and play a little bit of that. Man, I'm a huge history buff. I love ancient history and just watching documentaries about the old Mayans and the Sumerians and all that. So I like learning a lot too. Just learning about history and like different perspectives of history that you kind of weren't taught in school. That's kind of a newer hobby as I get older. So your hobbies get kind of more boring as you get older. But I don't know. I'm 22. I can't say I'm older, but just a lot of typical stuff. I love video games and watching sports. I'm a huge Chicago Bears fan. Shout out to them. Sadly, they're not doing too great, but we're making the uphill climb. Kentucky basketball too. My father's from Kentucky, so me and my dad have watched probably 1,000 Kentucky basketball games together. So that's in the family. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Interestingly enough, my undergraduate degree is in history.
Oh, really?
I'm a history buff myself.
Yeah. What's your go-to history?
I actually like recent American history, basically like World War II forward.
Yes,
just because I feel like so much has happened in the last basically 80 years.
World War II in and of itself could be a whole history book, man.
No doubt. Yeah.
Not just because of what happened, just the amount of personalities. Like each person that was a big figure in World War II could have a 900-page autobiography. It was
for sure.
What a time. Yeah. So
Yep. So we're mostly a wrestling related show, but we do dabble a little bit in pop culture. So are you watching or listening to anything cool right now? Because I'm always looking for recommendations.
Yeah. Let's see. I just finished the I love documentaries, just like true crime documentaries. The American Manhunt O.J. Simpson documentary was
that good?
Yeah, it was a great one on Netflix. I also just finished Outer Banks recently. It's kind of a soap opera drama on Netflix. It's a little cheesy, but I love that.
My son and I watched some of that.
Yeah. They just dropped season 4. It was pretty recent, but I just finished it up recently. pretty far back.
I actually just got done watching the Netflix documentary "Surviving Black Hawk Down."
Oh, yeah, I saw
Basically
that in my
talking to the people that actually experienced the Battle of Mogadishu.
Okay.
And that is well worth your time.
Yeah. When I first saw
If you're a history buff, man, it is really
I'll
really
definitely check
good.
that out. I love those type of things. So yeah, that is I'll check that out for sure. What else am I watching right now? I watch a lot of YouTube and all that, so nothing too crazy. I just go through my YouTube recommended and watch that. But TV shows, Outer Banks and those that American Manhunt for O.J. Simpson is really solid.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you had kind of made mention of it, so I'll just ask. I know that the goal is to have wrestling be the thing that pays all of your bills and supports your lifestyle. But do you currently have a day job?
I do. Yeah, I work at Chipotle.
Nice.
It's a nice, easy job. I love Chipotle. Yeah, it's fun. Time goes by really fast, man. Yeah, the customers are interesting sometimes, but I enjoy customer service and all of that. I've always been that's always been the type of job I've had. I've always done customer service. So
Well, have any of your coworkers come to see you wrestle?
I actually work with one of my wrestling buddies, but I won't name drop him. I'm not sure if he's cool with that, but no, not yet. I'm new to the area. Just trying to get my name out in this area. So I've yet to kind of wrestle in this area per se. I've wrestled, in Iowa and kind of middle of Iowa and Nebraska, but next this Thursday actually is SCW, so run by Merrick Brave. There's a battle royale at the Angler Theater that we're having, so it's in Iowa City. That should be pretty fun. I'll be in that. So
very cool. Very cool. So you said your hometown is Omaha, Nebraska.
Yep.
What is your favorite thing about Omaha?
Oh man, Omaha is I love it. It is the littlest big city in the world, in my opinion. Man, it has the feel of a big city, but really everybody knows everybody. We have the world's best zoo, rated by I think Forbes or somebody said we have the world's best zoo, which we do. I'm very I'm passionate about our zoo, so I love going to the zoo. But the people, the environment, I feel like it's a great Midwest feel. Everybody's you kind of can have the same demeanor around everybody. It's really cool. I love I'm a Nebraska boy for life, so.
Gotcha. So having relocated, what is your favorite thing about Davenport, Iowa?
Oh man, Davenport is a lot like Omaha. It's not as big as Omaha, but it's definitely that Midwest feel. My favorite thing is trying new food spots, kind of anywhere. I love. There's this place here in Davenport. It's called the Grilled Cheese Bar, and they have they have specialty grilled cheeses, just like they have like buffalo chicken grilled cheese. They have
that sounds good.
Oh, incredible, man! Oh, when we went, it was like I couldn't. I'm a huge grilled cheese fan, and they had like a buffalo chicken grilled cheese. I tried it with the cider ranch. Oh man, it was incredible. I was in disbelief, but yeah, I love trying new food just anywhere I go. So yeah, I definitely say trying the new food spots is a huge fan. They have some minor league sports teams here, like the Quad City Storm hockey. Not a huge hockey fan, but going to a hockey game is a blast.
Hockey's fun.
Oh yeah, I love going. It was a blast when we first went. The River Bandits, yeah, they have a AAA baseball team here as well. That was fun. So definitely going to the sports outings. The river's right there too. It's beautiful. Yeah, Davenport's got a lot to offer. A lot of people kind of see a lot of Midwest cities and they're like, oh, they're all the same, but each one is a little different than the other. So
yeah, they've all got their own little individual character
100%.
for sure.
Yeah.
Speed round.
Cool.
Dustin Rhodes.
Oh man, he has Dustin Rhodes. I watch him for just tape study and moves because he's not really athletic in a sense, but his scoop power slam. I was working on that for a minute, and just he's a technical beast. I love Dustin Rhodes. His work is gold dust. Not just as an entertainer. We know how good he was as an entertainer, but in the ring, he was very safe and clean with a lot of the technical stuff that he did. I love watching him just for ideas. He doesn't do anything crazy athletic, but he's very technically sound. And I love Dustin Rhodes. I was actually just yesterday, trying to get that scoop power slam down and just watching his snap on it. And he's he's a technical beast. I love Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, man. His power slams are definitely one of his trademarks. For sure. I mean,
he's a lot bigger too than what he's seen on TV. I think he's about 6'3", 6'4", or something like that.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, to pull off some of the stuff he does at that size. He's not like a brawler as you'd expect, but he's just a more technically sound, tall guy, which is kind of rare, which I expect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, they say that the best wrestling personas are usually kind of yourself turned up to 11.
Yeah.
So tell us about in-ring Drake Holloway and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you.
In-ring Drake Holloway, my moniker is all day. And in real life, I'm the life of the party. It's like anywhere I go, I love to be the just the outlet people can look to just to have a good laugh or whatever, and getting the crowd hyped up. And I think all day is kind of something I live by. It's a moniker, but it's all day is something I can say when I'm hyped up, when I'm having a good day. Like, hey, this mac and cheese is great all day. It's something. Yeah. I'm just a hyped up, really happy guy most of the time. So yeah, it's something I can turn up and just get the crowd going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts going into it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll get right in. So
okay.
It was with a good buddy of mine, Clay Evans. It was a one-on-one pre-show match. It lasted about 6 minutes. It was for Next Level Wrestling out in Sioux City, Iowa, and it happened within a snap of the finger. It just kind of happened. They needed a pre-show match. I had been training for about 4 months. I've gone through the basic training and all that, so we had put plenty of matches together out at Bulletproof Academy. But yeah, Nino Hatchett, my main trainer, just asked me, "Hey, do you want to ride up to the show? It's about an hour and a half away." And I was like, yeah, and you always bring your gear just in case. I wanted to show that I was a good student. So I brought my $20 eBay trunks. They're all black, and my mat shoes, my Asics, and I had just my training knee pads. So it was a very bland attire, but I was the heel, Clay was the face, and that match happened. I don't even think we have footage of it, but I would love to see it compared to now, just to see. But it was a very basic 5-minute match. And Nino said he was, we have work to do, but he was proud of us and whatnot. It was also, Clay had been wrestling for a minute at that time, so he was a little more. He took the veteran role in that match. But yeah, Nino told us, you guys got work to do, but good job not shitting the bed per se.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've heard about the first match. Now tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of.
Oh yeah, my favorite match happens probably with Kit Sackett. It was a one-on-one. It was the match before leaving for Black and Brave. And they had bumped me up to the main card on their show with Magnum Wrestling. It's my home promotion out in Omaha. And Kit is a technical beast. He actually trained at Nightmare Factory. and he's just awesome to be under the learning tree of, and I put my input into the match, and he was like, let's change it up a bit, and it's on YouTube actually. Drake Holloway versus Kit Sackett should come up pretty easily, but Kit was awesome to wrestle. That's my what about it makes it my favorite? It's somebody I had looked up to a lot, just in training. Like, Kit's a technical beast, and that's kind of what I want to be. And just to wrestle that guy was really awesome and fortunate. And it was my main card debut, and it was kind of like a going away present in a sense. So I'd say it was my favorite match, and it was a really solid match. So I'm very proud of that one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Speed round. Bailey.
Yeah, she's I loved Bailey and Sasha Banks's NXT feud. She kind of had a different persona than a lot of the women in the women's revolution. She was just all smiles, and a lot of people tried to be the tough girl, and like Sasha Banks, Charlotte. Bailey kind of brought a different approach into that, and I was like, she's very unique, but it's working really well, and I hope to see that kind of come back soon. But she really just goes head over heels with any role she's given, just as a heel or a face. And I didn't think she'd work as a heel, but she did.
She pulled it off.
I mean, yeah. And she's one of those people that's she doesn't have to do anything insanely athletic to tell a good story. So I see Bailey just as a great person for the business to look up to, for sure.
Absolutely. When her intro says role model, it means something.
Yeah, no, 100%, yeah. There's a lot of women, who, a lot of women, go through gymnastics when they're younger and they have that, athletic background. But, some women who don't necessarily have any athletic background going into wrestling I think they can look at Bailey's moveset and kind of, learn something from her. And, she doesn't do anything crazy, but she tells a great story every time. So.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know everybody has them, but what is your biggest in-ring pet peeve?
In-ring pet peeve? Like something that I do, or
either something that you do or something that you've noticed other people do that just bugs you, or
I can't really. I'm in no position to judge anyone else. Staying too stiff for sure is something that I've been told I did early on, just being stiff, and I hate hearing that, because I'm like, because in high school sports, you're taught to, stay strong and stay in stance, go. And I think it's just natural for me, but I'd like to think I've gotten better at it. Also, getting gassed, I just get mad when I get, like, I shouldn't be too tired right now. But, I'll be just, sometimes I'll be in the ring just going hard, and I'll have this, like, little feeling in my chest, like about to throw up, but I'm not going to throw up, but I can feel it. I think it's all just nerves as well, getting a little gas. That's probably my two pet peeves, is being stiff, and I'm a conditioned guy, which I don't get too. Like, I can run a good 2 miles and be okay, and but I'll get gassed within 5 minutes of a match sometimes. I'm just be like, what the hell? I've been working out.
It's a different kind of thing, plus you're dealing with the adrenaline and the adrenaline dump, and it's conditioning, and then conditioning for something like wrestling or jujitsu or whatever. It's a different kind of conditioning.
I should probably I need to get back into jujitsu, because that was the ultimate conditioning test every time. But I'd say those jujitsu for sure helped out. But just conditioning, and you got to stay loose if you're wrestling. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you're still comparatively new to the game,
Yeah, 100%.
but but what I mean, I know that there are sort of two and a half ways to prepare for a match. You can either work it out with your opponent in the back, call
Mhm.
it in the ring, or do a sort of a hybrid of both. At this point, do you have a preference as to how you like to prepare for a match?
Uh, yeah, kind of in a sense. I don't prefer like chain wrestling and strikes being called, but big spots, kind of spots in a match. I prefer that being planned in a sense, but working on the fly matches is the best form of training, in my opinion. I feel like I've picked up a lot more just doing on the fly matches. But right now, I'd say I prefer working out most of the spots in the back for sure. Just knowing what's going to come next, and then like having that in the back of your mind, and still being able to convey emotion and all the big parts of the match that aren't the moves and all that. That's the most important part. So I'd say
Hmm.
if I've really got what we worked out in the back down, and I can just like, oh, this is coming next. Let me pose to the crowd real quick. That's the most important. But if we're doing an on the fly match for a show, um, I'm still relatively new, and I will be honest with myself when I'd say I'd like to know what's coming next. So, um,
Right.
but once you're more conditioned to the business and all that, I'm sure it's you finally really get it and all that. So, yeah,
Right.
something I'm
And And I would imagine also, especially if you're working somebody that you've worked a number of times,
yeah,
you sort of to some extent have your chemistry down with that person,
yeah,
and you don't need to talk as much in the back about what you're going to do. You
yeah.
kind of know,
And
you
that's
know.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a few matches with. I've had a few matches with my trainers when I first started wrestling. Nino Hatchet. We've had about 3 matches together, a couple fair show matches, and then one at in South Dakota. So I mostly know what's coming next from him, and it makes it a lot easier. But yeah, it's a lot easier wrestling with folks you've trained with, because
Right.
they react to things. What's coming.
Right.
Their kind of core moves and all that. So.
So, if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
Oh, that is wow. Because I look up. The thing is, I look up to guys like CM Punk, MJF, who are just revolutionary on the microphone. But my
Hmm.
personal self, like I see the in ring stuff as sport, and I'm competitive in a sense. Like I need to be up to a certain standard, or I need to be better than this guy. If like we were in training, I'm a competitor, so I'm like, I need to be better than all these people. Not in a like toxic standpoint, but it's just my competitive
Right.
nature. So myself, I would say better in the ring, just because I see that more as the sport compartment. But when it comes to microphone and theatrics, that's one of those where it's like um, I look up to a lot of guys like that. So I don't understand why it wouldn't be better on the mic. But me as a wrestler, I see it, performance sport. I want to be the best performer. So kind of a little bit of both, I guess. But I'd probably say I want to be better in the ring.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And this next question, again, you're comparatively new to the business, so I
Mhm.
don't know if you really have entirely an educated answer to this
Yeah.
yet, but do you have a preference, at least right now, between working heel or face?
Definitely babyface. Yeah, when I first started wrestling, I was like, I'm definitely gonna be a heel. I can be an asshole. I'm great at this. But it kind of just happened where, yeah, I was put in a match as a babyface, and I really enjoyed doing it. I love getting the crowd on their feet, and slapping hands when I come out and all that. So yeah, I've been told I'm a natural babyface when it comes to looks, at least. I didn't really expect that, but I'd say definitely babyface right now. I've worked heel a few times. Um, that's still a work in progress, just because I'm not natured to it in a sense. But definitely babyface. I'd say babyface.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Speed round.
Cool.
Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer. Wow, what a name. To be honest, I didn't start watching until a little later after ECW, so I'm not too crazy familiar with Tommy Dreamer, but he just looks like one of those guys from the bar and who says he can beat your ass, and it's like, I believe you 100%. I believe you. But yeah, I know Tommy Dreamer was revolutionary to ECW and all that, so and you know, with just different styles of wrestling, it's incredible to just see like how you can become a huge character in a sense in many different ways. You know, he was a legend in ECW as compared to like Will Ospreay. He's just an athletic freak. You know,
Yeah.
it just shows like there's so many different ways you can get yourself in a good position in wrestling and get over and all that. So
Yeah.
much respect to Tommy Dreamer. Haven't seen a lot of his stuff, but yeah.
If you get the chance, do some digging and check out some of Tommy Dreamer's matches with Raven.
Okay. So Raven, ROH tapes where he would break down ring psychology. Oh my goodness. Some of the best stuff I've ever listened to. Raven is a genius when it comes to just psychology and anything about that. They're about 2 hours a piece, but there were 5 parts, and I could just listen to those all day. So, yeah.
You know, several years ago, and this is just an interesting, totally random thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a comic book convention here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And Raven was there as a guest, and he was sitting at a table, and there was like nobody there.
Are you serious?
So
you sit down there and break his mind down.
Yeah. So I went over, and I got to spend about 30 minutes just standing there talking with Raven.
Oh man.
And it was amazing. You know,
there weren't any wrestlers in the building then, because Raven.
Yeah. There were. It was like no wrestling fans were there. And I didn't even know that he was going to be there. And I was just walking through the show floor, and I'm like, "That's Raven."
Yeah.
And so
that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Raven is a genius in a sense. So,
but yeah, his stuff with Raven and Tommy Dreamer, man, it is worth your time.
Okay, I'll check that out for sure.
So, in terms of your in-ring work and your promos, who or what would you say are some of your influences?
Oh, in-ring, I would say Bret Hart, Daniel Garcia right now.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, I love Bryan Danielson. I think Bryan Danielson should be an inspiration for everyone when it comes to in-ring. Chad Gable, I love his mat wrestling style. Buddy Matthews, man, he's great. I have a lot. Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth.
Mm-hmm.
My coach Seth Rollins, really solid. Yeah, I watched just a whole bunch of everybody. So, The Miz, 100%. Man, there's a lot. I could name off 20 if I wanted to. Shawn Michaels.
So here is a question for you.
Yeah.
Regarding Seth Rollins, are you more of a Seth Rollins guy or a Tyler Black guy?
Oh, definitely Seth Rollins, man. Just watching in 2014 at Pinnacle, just like the pinnacle of his heel work, man. He was just revolutionary when it comes to, he was about maybe a year into WWE, and he was the top heel in the company. So, I hadn't watched much Tyler Black. I was pretty young in a sense. So, but the impact Rollins made was incredible.
That's another homework assignment for you. Go check out some of his Tyler Black stuff. It's also really good. So.
I've watched a lot of his ROH Tyler Black stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of his like promo work as Tyler Black or anything like that, but definitely tape study. I watched, ROH mid 2000s ROH is I'm a huge mark for that. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Um, so, um, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that you can have watched it a million times and it just never gets old, and there's
Yep,
always some new little something you can pull
100%.
from it.
John Cena, CM Punk, Money in the Bank 2011. That was the match that just got me addicted to the wrestling world. So um, they made it in, and Money in the Bank's a big pay per view, but they pro made that a kind of like a WrestleMania match in a sense. It was so well drawn out and just so well put together. Just the everything leading up to it, and that was the tip top of CM Punk's uh, work in my opinion. Man, the whole thing with his contract ending and how prestigious they made the WWE Championship. I feel like titles
Mhm.
need to become more prestigious, and at that point I felt like it was he either takes home the title or he leaves. So as a fan, definitely John Cena, CM Punk, Money in the Bank. I feel like everything that led up to that match was perfect. um, CM Punk's work during that was flawless. uh, Cena playing the protagonist, just he kind of in a sense was like, okay, he has a lot. CM Punk's making a lot of good points here, but I'm going to defend myself, in a sense. So as a fan, I'd say that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite move? What is something that you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you either won't do or you would rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
This is gonna be very basic. I love giving a mean clothesline. I take pride in my clotheslines. I love laying them in. Just going through somebody like that. It kind of reminds me of my football days.
Hmm.
Through somebody. Yeah, I like to bring some presence with my clotheslines. Very basic, but I love a good clothesline. I get excited to throw them. But no, there's really not any moves. I'm not willing to take. Maybe just like in a different setting. I'm not going to do some crazy backyard wrestling hardcore stuff sometimes, but I'd have to be presented the opportunity. I haven't been pitched anything and was like, I don't know about that, but you know I'm all about protecting the body and knowing between what's stupid and what's you know what'll get the crowd going. Like sometimes a good
Right.
scoop power slam will do the same effect as a Canadian destroyer, but I fully
Oh,
understand
for
that.
sure.
Yeah, but there's nothing I've been presented with yet. That's where I'm like, oh no, I'm not taking. Like, I'm new to the business. I've uh, no reason to deny anything basic for sure. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Um, So, you're young enough that this probably doesn't really apply, but I'll ask it anyway, and that is, what hurts right now?
Oh man, I was dealing with a foot sprain for a minute, but that's all good. Right now, it's really just I've had a left shoulder issue that's been bugging me for a minute, but other than that, as a wrestler, you kind of just get these nicks and these bruises that just seem to waver on as you just keep going. But um, yeah, you don't really get recovery time if you're an avid worker per se. But
No.
there's nothing hurts right now. Luckily, this is actually like the best I've felt in a minute. Just like body wise, during training, always sore. You're always sore. But um, yeah, it's been a that foot sprain was a that was annoying as hell. So I'll say that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Speed round. Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega, man, he is. If you look up wrestler in the dictionary, it's got to be Kenny Omega, man.
Hmm.
Everything he does should be, studied by anybody. I wouldn't say moves in a sense. He's very. Some of the stuff he does can be. kind of out of the basic, but just as character work, the whole Omega persona, it's definitely something that people should look to if they're trying to find. Kenny Omega just took his ring name, his last name, and there's Alpha and Omega, and Kenny Omega puts his logo on the Titantron, and he's the Omega. It's very simple. It's a subtle gimmick, but man, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I first I kind of discovered Kenny Omega when I discovered Japanese wrestling, and I mean the thing, one of the things I really admire about him is how completely he embraced Japan.
Yeah,
Became fluent in the language and really embraced the whole culture.
Yeah, I'd say he might be the only, maybe there might be a few characters in wrestling that outside of WWE seem like bigger than life stars. You got The Rock and Stone Cold. Kenny Omega, I think, fits in that category as being larger than life. He's the god of pro wrestling. He just kind of took on that role and went with it, and he just seems like more than a wrestler. He seems like a commodity per se. So anytime you watch Kenny Omega, you just feel a presence. You just got to be like watching everything he does, because that's who he is. He's made himself into that larger than life character. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling?
It's easy. It's awesome. I love it. You want to get your name out there, and just posting every day and the hashtags help out. If you wanted to know who was in a match, back in the day, there really wasn't a lot of indie promotions. You had to watch the TV. If I want to know who's wrestling down the street, I can go on Instagram and look at the page and see who's tagged in the photo. So it makes it a lot easier for fans, for one, and it helps out the wrestlers, sevenfold. So helps them out a lot to get their name out and post clips. It's kind of like Instagram. I think Instagram has mostly taken that role over of clips and promo photos and all that, and promos. So yeah, I think it makes it a ton easier for anybody who's trying to make a name for themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're still a very young guy, but knowing everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
I'd tell him to shut up and listen to Coach.
Be a sponge.
Yeah. I honestly wish I started training earlier. That's it. I wish I would tell myself, go now, do it. Because I kind of I was, as a performer, you can't be scared. You can't be scared of, the crowd or how they will react. I was scared at, the age of 17, 18, 19. And that's when it was like in my head to do this. And I was like, I don't know. That seems pretty risky. Take the risk and run with it. Enjoy the journey. I just wish I started training a little younger, but I'm having a blast right now. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have any pre-show traditions, any things that you try to do consistently before you go through the curtain?
I do about 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, and 3x10 curls with my resistance band to get my body pumped. And then I say a prayer, and that's about it. I spray myself down with a load of water too. So so you get that look,
Oh yeah. Yep. You got to have the look.
Yep. I don't know if this said, you got to get your tan on, whether that's a spray tan or the tanning bed and all that. So you got to look the part. I'm a firm believer in look good, play good. So
yeah. Or to use a different analogy, but fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not this tan all the time, I promise. But yeah, I'm not tan.
Something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. So last night we had a wrestler from Utah, Alex V, who actually is one of Trey's buddies.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. And Alex wrestles a lot at Dive Pro, which is Trey's
Yeah.
promotion.
Mhm.
And the question that he posed, and it wasn't particular to you, but he basically said, what would you rather your fans to walk out of the show with, a great promo or a great moment in the ring?
I think it's got to be a great moment in the ring. I think that's what professional wrestling's all about. Whatever, and I feel it's very rare to end on a great promo unless it's like after the show, cameras are off, like thanking the fans for everything. Um, but I feel like it has to be a big moment in the ring. That's what people look forward to, and then that's what a lot of the casual fans look forward to too. If you want to bring, I feel like if you want to bring new fans into it, as much as promo work is important, they want to see action, and I think it needs to be kind of a big moment in the ring. That's what I'd say. That's a great question. I feel like folks would have different answers. Everyone would, but
Well, since this is part of a series,
yeah,
do you have a question you would like to pose to the next guest? And I
I'm
can go ahead
yeah.
and tell you the next guest is Tori Fox.
Tori Fox. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What is Let's. Should I just stray away from wrestling, or should I ask a wrestling?
Whatever you want to ask.
Okay. Let's see here. Would you rather be a bear or a tiger? There we go. That's my question.
Okay. How would you answer that?
Yeah, that I was trying to think of the answer myself. Bears are, it's like, do you want to be that big brawler, or do you want to be that fast, killer in the wild? I don't know. I'd probably go with the bear, to be honest. I love watching them just pick salmon out of the river and just eating them. I don't know how often that happens, but it's cool. It's a cool sight to see. So
Oh, it is.
yeah,
It is.
I
Yeah.
love nature and animals and all that. So I don't know. That just kind of came to mind. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're pretty much toward the end of things now. So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
Yeah, I'd love to hype up the home promotion here, SCW. We got our big Angler Theater show in Iowa City on Thursday. And then right after that, I'm going back to Omaha for our Friday Magnum Wrestling show. Blurred Lines should be a blast. I'm in a gauntlet tag match with a good buddy of mine, Relly Carter. So yeah, I got back-to-back days this week. I'm really excited.
Nice.
I've got a cold right now. I hope this goes away so I can, breathe. But other than that, yeah.
I think everybody is sick right now. I've been dealing with sinus stuff
Yeah,
for
I've been trying to.
the last week and a half.
I've been trying my hardest. I get a cold, or like a long-lasting cold every winter, and I was like, man, I really dodged this. And like, it's late February. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's hitting late, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep, back-to-back shows.
Well,
I'm very excited though. I'm Blurred Lines,
oh, that's
SCW, man. Should be a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, as far as what we've got going on here, like I said, this Saturday night, the 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 87 with Tori Fox.
Nice.
And then Monday at 7, I've got episode 88 with Merrick Brave.
There you go. Merrick's awesome, man.
Your trainer, man. I am so excited for that. Just
tune
to
in, man. He's awesome.
just to get to pick his brain is really just going to be a treat.
He's had so much experience with every aspect of the wrestling world, just as a coach, as a wrestler. Yeah, he's a genius in and of himself. So I don't know if he likes to think of himself as a genius, but I'll say it. He is very helpful with coaching, and psychology is the one thing I really picked up at Black and Brave, just like how to put a good match together rather than just doing the moves. And he really explained it in a great way. So I give Merrick so much, appreciation and all that. So
Absolutely, put the guy over.
yeah,
You know, I mean,
yeah,
um,
for sure.
and then next Tuesday, the 25th at 7 p.m., I've got episode 89 with actually the spouse of a previous guest. A while back, I had a masked wrestler from Philadelphia, Eric X Black,
Okay,
and I've got his wife, Raina, who also wrestles.
nice. There you go.
And they've kind of got their own promotion that they're in the process of getting off the ground, but
Mhm.
they actually met while training at CZW in the Philadelphia area.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, Eric was in the same training class with Adam Cole. So that
Oh,
was,
really? Adam Cole's
yeah.
one of those guys I wish I would have mentioned when I love Adam Cole, man. His
Oh, I
cardio.
do too. I'm a huge Adam Cole
Me
mark.
too, man. I love Adam Cole. Yeah,
I hope he can stay healthy.
me
I
too.
mean, he's had a rough go of it these last few years. I
Yeah,
mean,
Adam Cole's one of those guys like, I look up to, and it's like anybody. You don't have to be a big bruiser to compete in this sport. Kind of like Shawn Michaels, Adam Cole. He doesn't have a crazy physique or anything, but man, he is so clean in the ring.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he is a solid technician, and from what I've gathered from talking to people that have had encounters with him, he is just one of the nicest
yeah,
people.
I've heard that as well.
Just a good dude.
Yeah,
So,
and he's a great promo man.
oh yeah.
Yeah, he's solid. I've heard that too. He's a great guy. I've yet to meet him. I'd like to, but yeah, I've heard the same.
Yep. Well, Drake, I want to thank you for your time, man.
Oh,
This has been an absolute pleasure,
I'm having so
and
much fun, man. Yeah,
you know, um, I'm definitely excited to follow your career.
thank you. Yeah,
I think you've really got a bright future ahead of you, man.
thank you. I
And
appreciate that.
you're now part of the Throwdown family, so
Sweet.
you've got a standing invitation to come back anytime you want.
Heck yeah. Yeah,
Um, and if you've got stuff you want me to repost or whatever, just send it to me, and I'll be more than happy to throw it up in my stories or whatever.
for sure.
And
Appreciate that.
anyway, so for everybody that's been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this in replays and such on the web, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, do the whole like, comment, share, and subscribe
Boom, boom,
thing.
boom.
And like I said, I'll be back Saturday night with Tori Fox. And in the meantime, be good.